Hello, I'm CritterXD, and welcome to my channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about the 10 brand new images that were released from the Wheel of Time Season 3 on this week's Wheel of Time Wednesday, and OMG, is there a lot to talk about. I'm going to dive right in, but I will say that if you like what you see here, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and hit the little bell for notifications for when I post new content and go live. So without further ado, let's get into it. Before I dive in, I also want to say, just in case you're worried, that I am going to keep it not book spoilery, at least until the very end. I'm going to limit my speculation to what we see in the images, what we've seen in the show so far, and what we saw in the teaser trailer. So let's dive into the first image. Here we have Moraine Sedai, our protagonist, one of our main protagonists, at least in the show, channeling through what appears to be a clear orb. We saw this orb in the teaser trailer, and she is wearing quite the outfit. It's pretty impressive. That makes me wonder if she's in the world of dreams, because we haven't seen her wear anything quite so ornate in the real world. Granted, she's had some pretty amazing clothing, but that, gold filigree cage-like thing on her, it feels armor-esque and it feels dream-like. So it's either a dream or she's actually in the waste and she's got a really sick outfit on. Could go either way. Now the question here is, why is she channeling in the middle of the waste? Well, in the teaser trailer we saw her in quite a confrontation with Landfear, so she could be in some kind of a battle. There's really no way to tell until we get there. If this is in the world of dreams, that lends some credence to this being a fight with Landfear, because Landfear seems to have been jerking her around in the world of dreams pretty bad in the teaser trailer. Here we have Swan San, the Amerlin seat, throwing some hands, some magic-y hands, at someone. She looks incredibly violent, like she has violent intent here, very, very angry, and I think that this has something to do with the confrontation that we saw in the teaser trailer between Liandrin and Alana. In fact, over Swan's left, I guess it would be Swan's right shoulder, it appears that Alana is standing next to her. Odd to me that she seems very calm, as if this is Swan sort of lashing out as the initial strike against the Black Aja, and it was kind of unexpected, or they weren't trying to lead anybody on. It is interesting, though, that in the teaser trailer it does seem that Alana took over the fight, right? Because she was on the streets of Tarvalin duking it out with Liandrin. Here we have a glimpse into the Tanchico plot. We've got an unnamed character on the far left, and then Matt, Nynaeve, and Min. I would like to give a shout out to Matt's deep V, because slay. We've had a lot of the same costuming for Matt throughout the series, and the fact that he gets to move on from that to this shirt that has ruffles and a deep V, couldn't be happier. I also think Nynaeve and Min look amazing, but it seems to me that they are trying to be undercover in Tanchico, and I also think that Matt seems very interested in this man's hat. And it's not really a spoiler, but in the books, Matt gets a black hat, like wide-brimmed hat, that kind of becomes synonymous with him, and so I'm hoping that he ends up buying the hat from this guy, or at least getting the idea of a hat from this guy. Somebody mentioned in my comments that this guy on the far left could be a character in the books named Julan Sandar. Again, to non-book readers that's not going to mean anything, but Julan is an interesting character, and it would be really cool if we got to see him in the show. Here we have Landfear, apparently in the White Tower, given the pillar that you can see on the left. The architecture is definitely there. Something notable for me in particular, because I love a good cosplay, is this absolutely stunning earring. I'm also very curious about her outfit. Not really sure the origin of that, if she's concealing herself in some way, or if this is just pure Landfear, but I am into it. I want the earring. I want the outfit. She is a fan favorite character from season 2. We fell in love with Natasha O'Keefe as Landfear, and I'm sure that's going to continue into season 3, where her relationship with Rand is probably destined to get even more complicated than it was before. Let's be honest, the Wheel of Time is incredible at giving us people that we love to hate. See Liandrin, for example, and Landfear, and I don't see that going away anytime soon, with Moghedien having been introduced at the end of season 2, the very, very end, and more Forsaken inevitably on the horizon. You all have no idea how much joy this shot gives me. The fact that Rand al'Thor has a smile that big on his face makes me so unbelievably happy. I'm just picturing him teasing Matt because Matt's a hero of the Horn, right? Something like that, some banter. I can't wait to hear it. Can't wait to see it. Perrin's bringing Matt a mug, maybe, you know, I can hear him now being like, "My lord," and then Matt saying, "I'm no bloody lord." Can you imagine? Oh my god, I can't wait. Perrin's golden eyes are on full display. Rand's hair has grown back, so he's no longer trying to hide himself, obviously. They're probably at some tavern of some kind before they all part ways inevitably. This could be in Falm still, it could be in Tar Valon. I feel like they're all going to be in Tar Valon at the beginning of the season, but I don't know how they would get there except for some time jump, right? It almost would make more sense for them to still be in Falm after the big epic season finale of season 2, but we're just not going to know until we get there. I also like how they're kind of all color coordinated. We've got these blues and greens. Matt is in the foreground. Obviously, we can't quite see what he's wearing, but it looks kind of ornate almost. It's goldish. It's gold and blue. I don't know. Perrin's is a little more down to earth, which I love, and Rand's is a little shabby. It just works for all of them. I don't know. And I just love that they're friends and they're together. I love a good, you know, camaraderie scene, and it looks like that's what we're going to get with this one. Here we have Rand and Lan practicing the sword forms. This is something that book readers were definitely looking forward to because this mentorship relationship is something that we hold near and dear to our hearts. We got a little taste of this relationship in season 2, especially whenever Lan coached Rand on how to talk to Swan. I want it to grow and blossom into something even more robust in this season, and this image and the fact that something from this image was in the teaser trailer gives me a lot of hope. This terrain is interesting because it's mountainous, which isn't necessarily Aiel Waste-esque. It could be outside of Tar Valon, it could be outside of Falm. Honestly, I don't think the location is really that important as long as this kind of relationship continues as long as it possibly can. And we've seen that Lan and Rand will both be in the Waste, so this may happen more than once, even if it's not just sword forms. It could be anything. Where I wasn't overly thrilled with Lan's arc in season 2, his trajectory in season 3 so far that I can see has me extremely hyped. Also, Rand's sword has me interested. I'm seeing Old Tongue here. I thought his sword was destroyed at the end of season 2, so we're just gonna have to wait and see on how this one shows up. And if I'm remembering the end of season 2 wrong, please fill me in. Absolutely insane behavior that the Wheel of Time put these 3 queens in these 3 outfits in a photo at the same time. Frankly, I'm overwhelmed. Look at these incredible women. Oh my gosh. So their outfits are clearly not exactly in line with what we've seen them in so far in the show. So, because in the teaser we saw Madeline Madden as Egwene about to step into her accepted test, my prediction is that this is a scene, this is one of Egwene's tests. And that is backed up by this Instagram post from Madeline Madden, in which she says, "The way back will come but once." She posted this photo with that caption. I think that's without a doubt a signal that no, this is not in real time, unless you consider the accepted test real. This is in her test. And that being said, I think we can point out some interesting elements in the photo. In this vision, it appears that Elayne is probably the Queen of Andor. This little hair piece that she has going on here is very crown-like, and queens don't wear crowns all the time, so I can see her hair just reflecting her royalty. She's also in green. We can assume she became a green sister because you'll also note she's got a green Aes Sedai ring on. Nynaeve is wearing yellow, so we can assume that she chose the yellow Aja. We can't see her Aes Sedai ring here. Presumably she's wearing it on the other hand, but she looks like an absolute stud in this just armor type outfit. Man, that I would love to cosplay that. But the one that I think speaks to me the most is Madeline Madden as what has to be the Amyrlin Seat, the Flame of Tar Valon, given the flame accents on this outfit, her Aes Sedai ring that appears to be gold, which I believe is what we've seen on Swan San, the Amyrlin Seat, before, and the fact that Swan San has also done gold with a lot of white accents as her color of choice, because the Amaryllis seat is of all and no Ajas. So in this vision, we've got Egwene as the Amaryllis, Elayne presumably as a green sister, also Queen of Andor, probably, and Nynaeve as a yellow sister. I don't know who they're facing, I don't know what they're doing, but the fact that they're all together looking like this should make whoever they're facing very nervous. And I can't help but wonder that who they are facing, given that it's those three, might be Rand, since he's the dragon. You can also put this image in the category of images that absolutely warms my heart. We haven't seen these two interact with each other, as Aviendha has only met Perrin so far as the main characters go. I'm not sure exactly where they are here. Given Elayne's clothes, it's almost as if she's in Tanchico, because the clothes that they wear in Tanchico is so much different than everywhere else they've been. It could also be before they branch out, because when she was in Falm, she was also wearing slightly different clothing. I have no idea the context, but the fact that they are drinking together and staring deeply into each other's eyes, I don't know. There's a lot of energy in this in this photo, and I'm loving it. I love a good, strong female friendship. So if this is the beginning of one for them, I'm a happy camper. And last but certainly not least, we have Elida Doabri Arroyhan, sister of the Red Aja, played by Shohreh Aghdashloo, and we have Morgase Trakand, the Queen of Andor, Elayne's mother. Oh, this is a dream casting situation when it comes to Shohreh. We have been wanting her so badly in the Wheel of Time. Granted, we wanted her initially as Cat Swain, but the fact that she's got an even bigger role in Elida, my heart is on fire. I am so excited to see what she does with this role. She looks pretty severe here, which is exactly right for her character. You all don't know exactly what Elida's going to be doing, but you can kind of see that she's clearly in league with Morgase. She is an advisor of sorts to Morgase Trakand, and they appear to be visiting the White Tower, given the architecture of the room they're in, the fact that there are novices and accepted standing by and watching, and I've said this before in other videos, it appears that they're probably visiting the White Tower because Elayne went missing in season 2, so they're most likely not happy at all. There's a chance that Elayne is going to get her accepted test, in which case maybe it's more of a celebration, but given the looks on their faces, that's not what's happening. I can't say enough good things about this costuming. Oh my lord, I thought the Shan Chan were extra, and they were very extra, and this is a whole different kind of extra. I am obsessed with this cape, this elevated shoulder cape Queen of Hearts situation. I don't know, I just can't get enough. And the fact that they're color coordinating, kind of, it's perfect. The severity here is spot on. Now for the spoiler section of this, the book spoiler, so if you're worried about book spoilers, it's time to scooch. I am wondering if this is a replacement for one of the Choden Call. You may know that the Choden Call are a pair of the most powerful Sa-Angreal in the world, and in the books they are described as a male and female statue holding an orb, just like the orb that Moraine is holding. Am I sad that the statue part of it is gone? I mean, obviously it's not book accurate if this is the case, but it does look pretty awesome. This feels cleaner, this feels more aesthetic, but I could be totally wrong, and this could not be the Choden Call. Only time will tell. Let's get a little spoiler on this image. I think we all know that what's happening in this is a confrontation in the tower between the Black Aja and the sisters that follow the light. The question is this going to kind of get rolled into Swan being deposed or not? It seems like it's not, because I feel like, based on another image we'll see later, Elida is going to be in the White Tower, at least for part of this, and I think Elida is going to be the main person in the tower coup. But it's going to be interesting if we have a big battle in the White Tower in season 3, how they're going to handle the tower coup in season 4, or if this is going to be a little bit more of an isolated confrontation. It seems unlikely though, because Rafe mentioned in an interview that this is going to just be women in their 40s and 50s shredding each other for 15 minutes, so that's a pretty big confrontation. So I don't know if they're going to have both, or if they're going to get balled into one. I am terrified that Swan might just get killed instead of getting stilled, and that the tower coup is going to have kind of a different vibe, and Elida just might like take over after Swan is taken out. I hope that's not the case, but it could be. Either way, if we get to see some major awesome Wheel of Time, one power fighting between these women, which it seems like we're obviously going to, I'm a happy camper. If Sophie Okonedo has to go out with a bang, then so be it, but I don't know. It's gonna be a sad day if that happens. Moving to the spoiler section for this photo, it is very interesting to me that Matt is joining the girls in Tanchico. It kind of works because I feel like Tom is going to interact with the group here, and having Matt and Tom on this little mission instead of Tom and Julian, for example, would make sense. It would work. They could both fulfill that kind of a protector or wannabe protector role, but obviously we're gonna miss Matt in the waste. I do hope that Donal slays in this different version of Matt, and the same goes for Min, because Min also wasn't in Tanchico. So this one is ripe for book readers having absolutely no idea how it's gonna go, which actually is kind of thrilling to me. I don't know if you're interested in not knowing what's going on. Let me know in the comments if you hate it or if you're kind of intrigued, kind of excited, and if you think this is Julian Sandar, because I'm not sure. I'm curious. The fact that he's holding something and seems to be like maybe dealing with them in some way has me interested. But Tanchico is also kind of a shady place, so he might have been a thief or something, because they do look a bit suspicious. Although they'll be looking for the Black Aja, so he could be, giving them evidence that the Black Aja is somewhere, showing them a stolen Terra Angreal or Sa Angreal or something like that. Only time will tell. I feel like I keep saying that, but it's true. Getting into the spoiler section of Landfear, there's not many spoilery things I want to say about this necessarily. I'm not sure exactly what she's going to be up to. Landfear does dabble in White Tower stuff in certain books. She shows up, talks to Matt, for example. This could just be her pulling strings, right? She could be talking to Liandrin, who we know is a member of the Black Aja. She could be trying to influence some of our main characters. She could be hunting Moraine. Who knows? We can only find out when we watch season 3 in March. As far as spoilers go, when I said this is before they all branch off on their different plots, it is interesting that Rand is going to be going to Ruity on the Aiel Waste, Perrin's headed to the Two Rivers, and Matt is headed to Tanchico, so it kind of feels very like they're in the Stone of Tyr, right? This feels like the beginning of book 4, just in probably a different location, and I'd like to think that they will circle back to the Stone of Tyr. I maintain that it's going to happen in season 4. Rand's going to take over the Aiel, sort of establish himself as the Karakarn, and the Shido, instead of heading to Carian, are going to head to Tyr, and we're going to get a Kalendor, Shido, Tyr, Stone of Tyr, absolute bonanza, and that's something that I'm extremely excited about if that's how they decide to do it, and everybody's going to gather back there once again, but for now, wherever they are here, they're together, but only briefly. So I'm really, really curious to see how this plays out. This one in particular was probably my favorite image just because it spoke to my heart, where the other ones got me just hyped, overly hyped. This one is just incredibly wholesome because of how much I love the books and how much I love these three and their relationship in the books. As far as spoilers go here, I know that book readers know that Rand participates in way more sword fights than we've seen so far in the show. This to me makes me wonder if he's finally going to get in on some kind of sword fight in this season or the next in a confrontation with one of the Forsaken, or frankly anyone. We know that at some point he trains with the Aiel in kind of hand-to-hand combat and Aiel style fighting, so by the end of this I expect him to be a strictly lethal weapon. One power, sword, hand-to-hand, doesn't matter. Rand will slay, and in that way they would definitely be following the books. So there's not a ton of spoilery stuff here because my speculation is it's just a vision, so there's no real spoiler things other than, of course, the fact that we all know that Egwene actually does become the Armelin seat, Nynaeve does become a sister of the Yellow Aja, and Elayne does become a sister of the Green Aja and the Queen of Andor, so it's a pretty accurate vision, which is part of the reason I got tripped up and thought this was a vision from Moraine at first before I saw Madeline's post on Instagram. So either way, my god, these costumes are amazing. Kudos to the costume department once again, and I can't wait to see this scene. The Egwene's accepted test is going to be fire. Do you think you're as excited as I am about this test? I don't know. I'm a Egwene superfan, so I don't know. I'd like to think that I might be the most excited person about her accepted test, but maybe not. Okay, for the spoiler section of this photo, yes, we all know that Aviendha is a very strong ship in this fandom community, and this photo has fueled that fire. They are staring longingly into each other's eyes. If I've ever seen anyone stare longingly into anyone's eyes, the energy there is electric. The fact that they're probably drinking usquai, or perhaps stuff that Elayne has brewed, or even 1 cup of wine, it's giving, is all I have to say. I am obsessed with this photo. I love how Aviendha's clothes haven't changed at all. Classic Maiden of the Spear. And again, I'm really intrigued with Elayne's clothes and the ring that she's got on, the jewelry, everything. It's giving Tanchico, so I'm not really sure why Aviendha would be there. Or again, as I said, it could be early in the season before they all branch out. Either way, fabulous choice of photo. Wheel of Time. Fabulous. Even if there's nothing romantic here at all, we know that they have an insanely beautiful friendship, and seeing the beginning of it here, presumably in this photo, couldn't be happier. And for the spoilers in this photo, this is the perfect way in my mind to get Elida to the White Tower, to kick off her assessing the situation and deciding that Swan does not have things well in hand. I fear that Morgase is not going to survive the season, given the fact that we have Lord Gabriel cast, and we all know who Lord Gabriel is. He's one of the Forsaken, and I think her murder will kick off the succession plot that Elayne gets involved in. We saw in the teaser trailer Elayne putting the crown on her head. This crown looks a hell of a lot like the crown that's on Morgase in that still, so that to me is lending itself to Morgase not being long for this world, unless of course, you know, they have matching crowns. Feels unlikely, but who knows. Elayne looks also incredibly sad here, which would make sense if her mom had died. That is it for the 10 new photos from The Wheel of Time Season 3, coming out in March of this year on Prime Video. They got me even more hyped than I was before, which I didn't really know was possible, but I think from here on out, the hype is only going to go up. Assuming they do, Wheel of Time Wednesday drops every Wednesday, which they seem to have promised. I want to say thank you if you stuck around this long. Keep your eyes peeled for more content from me about the Wheel of Time and other sci-fi fantasy content, but especially the Wheel of Time. And once again, if you like what you see here, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell for notifications for when I post new content, and go live. If you have any thoughts, drop them in the comments. Let me know what your favorite photo was. As I said, mine was probably the one of the 3 boys, just because of how heartwarming it was, but they were all absolute bangers. I don't think there's a wrong answer here. And finally, I want to say thank you to my generous patrons and members. You guys are thebomb.com. Your support is incredibly motivating. If you want to join this esteemed group of individuals, you can do so by becoming a patron on Patreon or a member on YouTube. That's going to be it for me. Thanks for watching. Bye! Bless you. Bless you.